I'm a little curious as to what people who think the moon landing was faked think about the movie First Man. I'm half tempted to venture into that part of the internet to see what they think, but it's a scary place to see. I mean, look, not everything's a conspiracy. Elvis is dead. If he faked his own death, you really think he would have chosen to have died on a toilet? Like,
Put the bucket back in the box.
starring amongst others Ryan Gosling, Claire Foy, Corey Stoll, Pablo Schreiber, Jason Clarke and Kyle Chandler, directed by Damien Chazelle off of a screenplay by Josh Singer. This is my review for First Man. So First Man is the story of Neil Armstrong, a name that we all know. He was of course the first person to walk on the moon, and this is a movie that depicts that very mission. As well as multiple missions leading up to it. It's a movie that doesn't... I mean, it's not focused just on the Apollo 11 mission. It's very much interested in the build-up to it and everything that came before it, not just within NASA, but within his personal life as well. And I'll just say apologies if I sound and look horrid, or more horrid than normal. Horrible cold in the throes right now, so yeah, not feeling great, but going to persevere with this anyway. So this is a movie I was really looking forward to, because anything space-wise, I love space movies. Interstellar, Gravity, just anything to do with space just instantly gets my mind going. It's the sort of... I've always wanted to go to space, and I still do, even though this makes space seem like a very scary thing to go and visit. It's still something I've always wanted to do in life, and I just, hope that one day we'll all get the chance. But yeah, I was very, very excited to see this, because not only is it a space movie, but it's a true space movie, and it is true. It's one of the most important space journeys that mankind has ever done. And it's the sort of movie that you want to see. It's the kind of story that needs to be told. And I'm glad they did, because the actual Apollo 11 stuff of this is so good. The space stuff in this movie is some of the best space stuff that I've seen, because it's given so much attention to detail. Just the travelling up to space and how terrifying that is. Like, you see it in other movies, you see how scary it looks, but this... like the clanging of the metal and how unsafe everything sounds and how turbulent and kind of violent that journey is really highlighted here, more so than any other movie that I've seen before. Because when I say I do want to go to space, this is one of the first movies that I've watched and I've kind of thought, do I really want to do that? Because this seems awful. This does not seem like a fun thing to do. But then it does the juxtaposition so well of how terrifying it is going up there to how amazing it is when you actually make it. When you see the Earth for the first time, it just... Damien Chazelle has really, really captured that. He's captured everything, I think, that you kind of need to see about a space journey. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but the fear, the excitement, the wonder, it's all captured here, I think, perfectly. And yeah, this movie looks great. There were so many moments where I was just kind of wide-eyed staring at the screen in wonder, really, like seeing the moon's surface, just say all the little details that go into it. Just a fantastic film to look at, particularly when it's involved in the actual space part of the story. But as I say, there's a lot more to First Man than just the space aspect of it. I mean, that's the mission. That's kind of what the whole movie's building to. But it takes quite a while to get there, because it's a lot more interested in showing Neil Armstrong's life, like his family life, his setup, and how he got to where he got to. And the people that were around him as well. And it's kind of to the film's... almost to its detriment and its credit that it really does take its time. It is a bit of a slow burn, and at times it is a little bit too slow. And as I say, it kind of works for and against the movie, because on the one hand, it's nice that we're allowed this time to get to know the people involved in the story. And when there's losses, when there's deaths, when there's drama and things, it matters because we've spent enough time in slower, quieter moments with these people to get to know them. But on the other hand, the character of Neil Armstrong himself... I don't really feel like I know him after this movie. And that's not through Ryan Gosling's performance, and we'll get to the performances in a minute. I think it's just because of how he was written. He's written as somebody who doesn't really give you that much of who they are. And it's hard to say whether that's something to kind of knock the film for, because that might be what Neil Armstrong was like. That might have been his character, and if so, it's captured pretty well. But it makes it very, very hard to invest in the main focus of this story, which is Neil Armstrong. Other people around him, like Claire Foy's character, like I feel I know them. I feel like I understood them. I feel I kind of got what they were going for. With Neil Armstrong, not so much. He's almost a blank slate in a way. We get little moments where we get a little insight into what's going on in his head, but not enough of them. As I say, we've come out of this after a nearly 2-hour running time, and I still don't feel I know much more about Neil Armstrong as a person than I did going into it. But performance-wise, can't fault people in this one at all. Ryan Gosling, he's just the king of quiet acting, I think, Ryan Gosling. He doesn't need to say too much. He doesn't need to overplay moments. He just needs to do his thing, and he does his thing very well with this one. The quiet moments with the character of Neil Armstrong, I think, work the best. There's a moment where he cries over something, and it's a really powerful scene because nothing's said in that scene at all. It's just Neil Armstrong crying. And the scene, much like other scenes, takes its time in it. It doesn't cut away from it quickly. It allows, I think, almost like a full minute of just this man breaking down. It's the little moments like that that I think really elevate this. And they show what a great actor Ryan Gosling is. Yeah, he gives a great performance in here, even though, as I say, you don't get to know Neil that much. Ryan Gosling's performance can't be faulted because he's great, as is Claire Foy. Claire Foy, who we know from The Crown, is a very, very good actress, and she shows it here. She gets, I think, more to do, in a sense, in regards to building character. Like, her character is somebody who's very scared of what's going on, of what her husband's going through. But at the same time, she's quite fierce. She's not afraid to call him out when she thinks that he's doing something wrong or he's not giving their children enough attention. It's a particularly powerful scene where she's saying, like, you have to go and tell the kids that you might not be coming back. And she delivers that beautifully well, I think. And there isn't anybody that gives a weak performance in this. Every single person that's cast in it seems perfectly cast. Kyle Chandler is an actor that I just love. He's one of my favourite actors, I think, just from Friday Night Lights and everything else I've seen him in, really. And he's great in this one as well. He's got a real sort of way about him, Kyle Chandler. I love watching him perform. And the same with Jason Clarke. He's another actor that I really like, and he gives a great performance as well. As I say, nobody does anything wrong performance-wise. Everybody kind of brings their A-game to it, and they kind of realise what a serious movie this is and what an important movie it is. And they rise to that challenge. Everybody does. And overall, this is a movie that I really, really enjoyed. But as I say, the pacing is a bit of a problem. While I certainly do appreciate the fact that it takes its time to get to where it's going, like it focuses on smaller moments, it does feel that there's a lot here where it slows down and doesn't really justify why it slowed down. There were a few moments throughout where I found myself getting restless, and I'm not somebody that gets restless in films that often, but I did in this one, and it wasn't a lot of times. There were just a few occasions where it was like, okay, can we kind of move on to the next thing? But that's just a minor problem on a movie that I otherwise really, really enjoyed. It's definitely one to check out on the big screen. If you get a chance to see it in IMAX, go watch it. Definitely go see it on IMAX and then tell me how great it was, so I'm forever envious of you, because there's no IMAX screen really near here at all. Because I can only imagine how good that moon landing sequence would look on IMAX. Even just on a regular cinema screen, it looked amazing. Like, it was just, I haven't had a moment like that in cinema this year where I've just been that kind of awestruck by what was happening. It almost felt like I was genuinely watching it happen. Like, it was just an amazing sequence. Just amazingly well done. And as I say, every single detail. I keep mentioning the details on this one, but that's what Damien Chazelle brought to this. He brought so many little moments and little tiny things. It's like he thought of everything when it came to these things. The sound, how it looks, sort of when to focus in on the characters and when not to. Yeah, the moon landing, one of my favourite sequences from movies, I think, this year. So, First Man is definitely one to check out. I really do want to see this on 4K because I think it's going to look great. I'm going to give First Man an 8 out of 10. Have you seen First Man? If so, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And let me know your favourite space movie as well. Is it this? Is it Gravity? Is it Interstellar? Is it anything else? Let me know. Let's talk space. Do hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more. Look out for more reviews soon. I was supposed to be seeing Goosebumps 2 today, but I feel like crap, so I'm not. Hopefully going to see it tomorrow, but a review for Bad Times at the El Royale is definitely coming, and hopefully a Goosebumps one as well. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.